Good morning. This is a premium public video forecast discussion for Friday, April 7th, 2023. There's a lot of stuff going on for this weekend. We have, of course, Passover going on, Easter for Sunday, Good Friday today, of course. And, of course, we have the opening day for the Mets and also the Phillies. The Yankees are down in Baltimore. And in the meantime, we are moving into a new weather pattern. One that is, I would say, more pleasant, and one that will feature warmer temperatures in time, not necessarily this weekend, but certainly improving weather conditions. So let's talk about what is evolving here. Now, currently, we have our cold front sinking through the region, exiting out. We have a lot of broken cloud cover around the region. There are some signs on the radar of some precipitation, but nothing's reaching the ground. So we have a lot of cloudy skies hanging around the region, with a northwesterly wind around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures ranging from the upper 30s to lower 40s in your higher elevations, mid to upper 40s in some of your suburbs, and lower 50s everywhere else, mid 50s down towards southern New Jersey. But again, that northwesterly wind. You can see on the radar here, looks like a lot of bark, right? It looks like there could be a wet day on the way. But, like I say, when you look back at the observations, no rain is being reported around Maryland, Delaware, southern New Jersey. So nothing around here while the radar is active here. So what's going on? Well, let's take a look at the SKU-T. This is, again, is a different view of the atmosphere. It kind of gives you a more of a 3D version of the atmosphere, and you can see the vertical layers, right, in the atmosphere. And what stands out is all this dry air in the mid-levels. So you have this precipitation coming through, all your moisture up here around 700 millibars. But once that precipitation falls into this dry layer, it evaporates. And so that's why you have cloudy skies, and you have activity on the radar, but actually no rainfall at the surface, because that dry air is preventing that rainfall from reaching the ground. And that is essentially what is happening right now when we take a look at our current conditions. Now, obviously, plenty of moisture here at 700 millibars, but we're also starting to see dry air transport at 700 millibars. So that's the idea why we're going to see this slow clearing. Now, it's not strong dry air transport, because if it was, you'll see these winds coming in from the north-northwest, driving this dry air in. Instead, it's more like just barely pushing it. The orientation is just a little bit off. Plenty of strong winds at 700 millibars, but the orientation of the winds and the field of the gradient of moisture is not aligned right. So it's a slow exit. Now at 850 millibars, where we have our cold air transport, you can see it's a little bit stronger here. Okay, so definitely the cool air is coming in, and you can see with this cooler air, you also have drier air. So this is the example of why at 850 millibars, your moisture is being driven out. You can see the higher dew points out here, but at 700 millibars, it's not. And it's all because of the orientation of the winds and the way that the 500 millibar pattern is set up. And that's why I'm showing you these upper level winds at 250 millibars. What's happening is that at the surface front here, the upper level winds are running parallel to the cold front. When a cold front slams through and exits out really fast, the upper level winds run perpendicular. So this is all a signal of a slow moving cold front with slow clearing skies, but not much in the way of precipitation. I can't rule out an isolated shower here and there. You can see the low clouds here very nicely here, and the mid-level clouds kind of giving way. I can't rule out an isolated shower, but for the most part, I think today is going to be a dry day. And when you take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, you can see our cold front is slowly exiting. Our trough is slowly starting to take hold. And then after that, well, then things get a little bit more interesting. So let's dive into some of the model guides here. When I say interesting, I would say more favorable. Weather activity is actually going to be pretty quiet, but I find it interesting because of the way that the whole pattern is evolving, which I've been talking about quite a bit with premium members about how this El Nino is going to develop. Will it be a strong El Nino? Will it be a weak El Nino? We're going to be continuing to following that through this entire summer and detailing what to expect. And of course, naturally, I'm already being asked, what about next winter? Well, first, let's see how this El Nino develops. But I am seeing some interesting signals here. So first of all, our 500 millibar pattern over the next 10 days is quiet. Okay, and so you might be saying to yourself, Stephen, why is this interesting? It's boring. There's nothing going on. You have this upper level ridge hanging around the region. It's going to be very quiet with high pressure and control. You might see an isolated shower here on next Saturday. But that's it. Why is this interesting? Because of how we get there. You see, in the subtropical jet stream, we have this upper level low that cuts off and just kind of meanders around the southeast and creating havoc. And that's why we have our ridge hanging out over our neck of the woods. Meanwhile, in the polar jet stream, we're seeing more and more support for troughs around the Aleutians and then diving into the Gulf of Alaska and then retrograding backwards. And that is because we're seeing more and more convection around the dateline. So what we're seeing here gradually are more troughs towards the Aleutian Islands, more ridging on the west coast, and then we take that and we roll that forward with the ensemble guidance here, and we start to gain more and more support for a trough in the east, ridge in the west, and overall a pattern where you can see a little bit more increase of polar Pacific air masses coming into the northern mid-Atlantic. And we'll see whether or not we get any support of a phase 7 MJO, which would support more of a robust Bermuda high over the western Atlantic, or if we get more phase 8 and 1 as we move through the summer under an El Nino influence, which would support more of a trough digging further towards the east, towards, let's say, the trough axis from the Great Lakes to the Tennessee River Valley, right around here, okay? If that happens, then the ridge axis stays off the coast, and we get a lot of cold fronts and showers and thunderstorms and whatnot, but at least we don't get the blistering hot and humid weather conditions, whereas a phase 7 pushes that trough more back towards the central Great Lakes and allows that ridge to build in and the muggy conditions with it. So yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye on that, but some very interesting signals showing up here. Yes, it's going to be quiet. And why is it going to be quiet? Well, let's take a look at the precipitable water values. It's kind of hard to have much rainfall with almost no moisture in the atmosphere, and that's essentially what's going to happen. We're going to have precipitable water values in some cases, especially for this weekend, below 1/10 of an inch. And when that happens, it's basically going to be quiet. Very quiet. Not much in the way of precipitation. You can see we have to get all the way until next Saturday to get a chance for more showers, but even that gets suppressed to the south pretty quickly. So it doesn't look like a major situation at all. Meanwhile, our 850 millibar temperatures, not bad. Cool this weekend, no doubt about that. Cool today and this weekend. Nothing record-breaking or anything of that nature, but certainly you're going to need a bit of a hoodie, let's say when you're heading out, or a light jacket. Then for next week, we moderate to temperatures basically near to slightly above normal. But again, nothing record-breaking, nothing out of the ordinary here. Just your typical April weather pattern, and that will continue on through the next 10 days. So not bad, right? So let's dive into this forecast. For today, our cold front will slowly exit. Look for a mix of sun and clouds. Again, I can't rule out an isolated shower, especially around southern New Jersey, like around Cape May. But if you're going to the Mets or the Phillies games, you'll be fine. Absolutely dry weather, but you'll need a coat. Why? Because temperatures are going to be in the lower to mid 50s over the interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast. You might squeeze out a 60-degree temperature around Philadelphia, maybe. Tonight into tomorrow morning, high pressure will take full control with clear skies, and that's going to allow your temperatures to plummet into the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s in your suburbs, mid to upper 30s along the coast. But temperatures will rebound in the afternoon to the upper 40s to lower 50s throughout the region. On Sunday, Easter Sunday, and also the middle of Passover, I believe. You have high pressure and control with tranquil weather conditions, very quiet. Wherever you might be going for the holiday weekend, you're not going to have weather as a reason to cause any problems. That's going to lead to tranquil conditions and temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. For lows, high temperatures will range from the upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast, lower to mid 50s away from the coast. Now on Monday, high pressure will remain in control with tranquil weather conditions, lows in the lower to mid 30s, highs in the mid to upper 50s. On Tuesday, high pressure will push off the coast gradually with scattered cloud cover and winds more from the west-southwest. You'll have temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s for lows and high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast, and mid to upper 60s in the Delaware River Valley. On Wednesday, high pressure again in control with scattered cloud cover, winds from the west-southwest, tranquil conditions once again for the region, with low temperatures in the lower to mid 40s and high temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast, lower to mid 70s over the interior, and mid to upper 70s in the Delaware River Valley. On Thursday, high pressure again in control with scattered cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid 50s and high temperatures to range from the lower to mid 70s along the immediate coast, mid to upper 70s over the interior, and upper 70s to lower 80s in the Delaware River Valley. And next Friday, tranquil conditions continue with scattered cloud cover and low temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 60s to lower 70s on Long Island, lower to mid 70s along the coast, mid to upper 70s over the interior, and upper 70s to lower 80s in the Delaware River Valley. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.